Hello there. Happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to join you in the middle of the day here, and in particularly from our West LA office. I was just in our lunchroom, and I was just like, oh, I love being around people. So happy to be here in person and not just online with our crew. If we haven't met, my name is Julie Hirschberg. I'm the founder of Re+active Therapy and Wellness. I'm in our West LA studio today, but we have a studio in Torrance as well. And I am also a big component of our reactive education. So a lot of learning and training with our fellow clinicians, OTs, PTs, speech therapists. And every week I happen to share some of what we're learning, maybe what I've been reading, what we've been doing. And a really big thing I've been working on this week, I'm going to actually give you a little preview and show you this. Brittany, Kim, and I have been working on a mini course that comes out, a free mini course comes out this Saturday. If you haven't heard about it, it's part of our documentation challenge. So if you're, a healthcare provider, and you're in our documentation challenge, this is coming on Saturday. If you're not in our documentation challenge and want to come to the mini course, sign up for our challenge and you'll get this on Saturday. So I have been just immersed in this and so excited. So the mini course is our complex case mini course, and we are going to share the 3 most effective strategies for complex case management and reducing burnout. This is a really big passion of mine, as you probably know, because I really care about my fellow therapists. And I know that managing complex cases is challenging, and I know it can come with a lot of extras, and that it can lead to burnout. And we can lose really great clinicians because they're burnt out in the healthcare field. And I think this is happening more and more because of the pandemic, and people are leaving the profession. Not me. I'm here to stay. I love this job. I love our profession, and I'm so passionate about it. So in this mini course, we're going to share some strategies, and one of the biggest ones I wanted to give you a little teaser of today, and that is where to start when you have a complex case. Let me see if I can, I don't need to keep sharing that. This is one of the biggest questions that we get. Where do I start? Where do I start with this? And particularly if you're getting a complex case that has several diagnoses, they're still undergoing a medical workup, there's a lot of different symptoms affecting different body parts, there's a lot of neurologic signs and symptoms, maybe there's some systemic inflammation, there's autoimmune disease, there's musculoskeletal issues, maybe endocrine issues. Is this starting to ring a bell? Maybe you're a person that has experienced all of these things, or maybe you are a therapist that is working with a lot of complex cases like that. You may start to hear all of these, or you read the medical records and you're like, I don't even know. Where do I begin with this? And this is something that's actually come up in our documentation challenge, because a lot of times with complex cases, you have all of the things that you want to work on and that the person wants to work on. And how do you narrow it down? So I want to just talk very briefly about one place that you can start, and that is with connection. So sometimes and I believe this is a lot of our training and even how our medical records are set up. There's a laundry list of questions to ask, of check boxes to do. There are forms to be signed and authorizations and this and that. And you're trying to screen every system and check off all of the boxes. And it's really easy to miss the connection part. And I would argue it is the most important. And if you're not so sure about that, also join me on Friday in our Facebook Live. I'm going to talk about the science behind this. We've got literature to show this connection piece is really important, and probably even more important than your hands-on skills. So what do we mean by this connection? And I want to give you 3 quick little ideas. Number 1, connecting to yourself. You're bringing yourself to the therapeutic relationship, right? And if you don't know what you're bringing, then you don't know how you're influencing that relationship. And I have a great example, actually just in the other room here, one of our great therapists, Maddie. I was working with her with somebody, a very complex case, and the family was there and the caregiver, and they were so anxious. Understandably, there was a lot happening for this person. She almost lost her life, a lot going on. And what I could tell with Maddie is that she was grounding herself. She was aware of what was happening for her when the people around her were feeling really anxious. And we actually talked about it afterwards. I was like, what was happening for you? And she's like, I was grounding myself. I was noticing what they were bringing, how it was affecting me. And I was ensuring that I was okay. Man, that was great insight from her. So shout out to Maddie. But my question in where you start with a complex case is with yourself. What comes up for you when you start reading pages and pages of history and complexities? Do you start getting anxious? Where do you feel that in your body? You're bringing that to the therapy with the person, by the way. So can you ground yourself? This is a strategy that Brittany and I are going to talk about in our mini course this weekend. Connecting to yourself. The next is connecting to your client. This is huge. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a really big component of what we talk about with Mike Studer as well. He's coming, by the way. Oh my gosh, it dawned on me. It's next weekend, his neuroplasticity course, which is literally about this. So the secrets of the soft skills and how we connect with the person in front of us. We've even talked about this in our documentation challenge, because a lot of people are challenged when they've got the computer in front of them of like physically connecting. Eye contact and listening and all of those important skills. How do you listen? One of my favorite analogies for this was actually taught by Mike Studer, and he has this hitchhiker analogy, which I love. So again, if you've been in our neuroplasticity courses before, you've probably heard about this. I've talked about it before, but this idea that we are on a journey with a person, and they might be hitchhiking, and we pick them up, and we're going to need to understand where they are in the journey, where they're going, where they've been, and we're just going along for the ride with them. I really love that analogy and what it speaks to in how we listen and understand a person. So connecting with yourself, connecting to your client. And then the third that I would say has been one of the biggest pieces for me in the last couple of years and in this pandemic, and basically since we started Brain Bites, it's connecting to a team. And one of the things that I have found to be really important is to be a part of something bigger. Whether it's my own team here, a community of other professionals. So that's what we have in our Brain Bites community, a team to refer to and work through a case with. This is why I love working on our integrated team with PT, OT, and psychology. Any of those pieces are connecting to a team to help work through a complex case and are so incredibly important. And again, when people ask me, well, where do I start? And then they're going, well, why are you just saying connection? I mean, that is going to tell you where to go, particularly when you connect to the client and listen very closely. They're literally going to give you all of the clues to all of the things that you might assess and treat, and they're going to tell you what is most important to them and guide the way. I think when I think of myself, in being when I was a new grad, or even if I'm just seeing something new for the first time, I kind of make a mental checklist, and it sometimes gets in the way of me actually listening and just following what the person says. And I think that's the most important thing. And I'm going to say it again and again. Join me on Friday. I'm going to talk about the science, some of the literature associated with this. And there's some really great and exciting articles that I'm going to talk about related to this idea of connection. And if you're not already, join our documentation challenge, because on Saturday, we're going to do a course. We're going to do what's called the complex cases mini course, giving you these strategies, and we're going to give you case examples of how to do this. We're going to practice it together. 3 simple strategies so you can get started and on the right foot with a complex case. So I hope you'll join me in that. It's on Saturday. You sign up through our documentation challenge, and I hope to see you there. It's been really fun to be with a community and be chatting about some of these challenges. So thanks so much. Have a great day, and I will see you on Friday.